Okay, all of our coaches, all of our players are extremely excited that today's finally here to start spring practice. Just wanted to start out with a few updates. First of all, coaching. Larry Porter will be taking over our special teams this year. Larry did that same job at North Carolina. He's excited about it. I think he's going to do a super job. Tim Horton will be really switching roles with him. He'll take over and be our recruiting coordinator, which he is very good at. He's been that in the past, and then obviously he'll continue to coach the running backs. J.B. Grimes, obviously we hired a month ago to coach the offensive line. I'm very excited about J.B. And then on the back end, Marcus Woodson will be focusing on corners, and Greg Brown will be focused on safeties, and excited about those guys working with our secondary. A couple player updates. First of all, with our quarterback Jarrett Stidham, he is out of his sling. He will be limited in the spring. I know the 4 practices before we go on the break, he'll be able to do some footwork, drills only, and we expect him to be able to come back and throw once we get back from spring break in the second half, and we'll just kind of see where that goes along the spring. Ryan Davis had a minor procedure done on his shoulder. You'll see him out there today in an orange jersey. He will be limited until we get to the break, and then he will be full speed once we come back from our break. Daquan Newkirk just got here, in January. He tore his Achilles heel yesterday, and it was kind of a really unfortunate deal. He's had a very good, few weeks of preparation. He will have surgery, and we expect him to be back for fall camp as far as that goes. And then Noah will also be playing some corner this spring, so you'll see him today with the defense, and he's going to do both. He's going to play some corner, and he's going to play wide receiver, and it's just kind of one of those things that we really feel like he's got a special talent. We were very impressed with him last year in special teams, and just want to make sure that he has the best chance of being on the field. And of course, he just got done from the triple jump and long jump at the SEC Indoor Championships, and so we're very excited for him. And he will do the same thing after spring football is over. He will be doing the same thing for our track team during their outdoor event. So I'm very excited for him, and I think he can do both. And when we recruited him, that's exactly what we said. And of course, we have a player coming in that's one of the better sprinters in the entire country that's coming in. So I think we'll be able to establish something there as far as moving forward. Recruiting that we can have guys that play football and run track. But just excited to get out there. I know our coaches are ready to go. Our players are ready to go. We're going to be in helmets only today and Saturday. We'll be in shells on the next Tuesday, and then the last practice before the break we'll be in full gear and ready to go as far as that goes. And we've had this same kind of format where we'll get a foundation built. We'll take the week off right there, and then we'll come back and we'll have 11 practices with our AD day with that. Really just from a focus standpoint, I'm excited just the competition part. I told our coaches I want each player to improve in one area and be very, especially the older guys, the veteran guys that we know, that played and all that. We want to try to get that much better, and just told the coordinators I wanted 2 deep at the end of spring, so we can go into the summer and have a by position get specific, and they can work on their own to improve as far as that goes. So we got some position battles obviously at the running back position. That'll be a big key for this spring. Tim's got a great plan as far as rotating those guys. That group will probably get tackled more than we have in the past, but that will be by design to make sure we leave spring with some kind of depth chart and some kind of order. Obviously, our offensive line, we've got a bunch of young, talented guys, so I'm excited to see how that whole thing, plays out, see who steps up. J.B. Grimes is one of the best teachers that I've ever coached with in 29 years, so I'm excited for him to get out there and work with those guys. And then on the back end, just the safeties and how everything plays out with that, I'm excited to see where that goes to. Questions?
Tell me about Daquan. I mean, it's been a long road. He really wanted to play here. He finally got here, and now he's injured.
Yeah, it was a really tough thing on him. Well, he was off to such a good start and was doing great in our mat drills, but it's not the end of the world. He will be back. We expect him to be back, in fall camp, and so he'll be back, and I think he'll be ready to go.
Justin, you say, was it torn all the way through, or was it partially torn?
What's that?
Was it torn all the way
Yeah,
through?
it's torn, so I don't. He's getting it fixed. So I'm not for sure about the details.
Anybody not back out this spring?
What's that?
Anybody else not back out this spring?
No, not that I know of. I mean, and this is probably, I was telling the staff the other day, this is probably the healthiest we've been going into spring. Of course, we stayed fairly healthy from a big injury type deal from last year, and that's helped us. Which spring is it's a critical time to get your guys out there and develop them.
What about Josh Marsh?
Yeah, Josh Marsh will also not go through spring, but I think I said that a couple weeks ago with his injury.
You got some true freshmen that are here early for spring ball. Who's some guys you're looking for to step up?
Every one of them. I mean, that's the way we recruited them. We recruited talented young men, and nowadays those guys that are planning to leave school early, one of the main reasons is to get a head start. And so I think there'll be some very good competition. They're going to get a chance to show their coaches what they can do. Just talking to Coach Russell and doing our mat drills with them. It's a very athletic group. I think we got some really good football players. So I'll be able to tell you more once we get at the end of spring.
Gus, that running back group, you mentioned, obviously Asa jumps in there.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember a time where you had more candidates and more ability to just kind of turn them loose than you have this spring?
I think the big thing that's different this year is that we don't, Cam Martin, I mean, he's a guy that we know quite a bit about. Malik is a guy we know quite a bit about. The other guys, they got an opportunity. So it's really wide open. And so that's the exciting part. We really need to leave spring. We need to know who can protect. That's going to be big. We're going to put our running backs in a lot of situations to be able to protect. We talked about the running backs playing without the ball. All these guys are very talented when they got the ball in their hand and they can run, but there's more to playing that position than just running the football. And so that's going to be a big key, to see who can separate themselves.
Is there some silver lining to Jarrett? Just in the fact that you get Joey, you get Malik, probably some extra snaps.
Yeah, I think that's the way Chip's looking at it. And then I think, too, there's something to be said, for Jarrett being able to sit back there, behind everything, and, he'll help those young guys, too. So I think there's going to be a win-win deal as far as that goes. I know Jarrett was talking to me the other day about that he's excited about that. And then, give a chance for Malik to feel what it feels like with that first group and everything that goes with it. And then Joey, a guy coming in, get him more reps than maybe you normally would in this situation, especially the first 4 days, and that's when you're really putting the foundation, offense, defense, and special teams in. So he's getting a real look in, how he's going to react, communication, and everything that goes with that. The good thing about this spring is we're going to be very simple in all three phases, and that's going to be by design too, and give our younger guys a real chance, and the less experienced guys a real chance to get a good foundation.
With Noah, playing some corner, does that allow you to look at some corners to move around at safety and nickel, and who are some of those candidates?
Yeah, Coach Steele, the way he likes to do it is with our corners and our nickels and even safeties in the spring. He'll rotate all of them just to get a feel, not only to evaluate them, but to give us depth. So, throughout this spring, he's got a good plan that he's going to rotate really all of them at corner and nickel. Some of the safeties may stay just safeties and nickel, but I do know the corners will all have a chance to do that.
Where do you guys see Jordan Peters fitting in right now?
I think he's going to start out at nickel today. Of course, he played, some, especially late in the season. He got some good live game reps, and we felt like he performed pretty well. So, really excited to see what he does.
How about Jeremiah Denson?
Yeah, Jeremiah Denson will play safety. I think today he'll probably start out at safety, but obviously everybody knows he played nickel too, and that kind of goes back to the rotation and get a chance to see guys at different positions. But he'll start out at safety today.
Gus, what's the thought process on Noah? Do you use this entire spring to figure out which side of the ball you want him on, or do you already have an idea?
Yeah. So what we're going to do the first 4 practices, we're going to be fair to him, is we're going to let him get the foundation and fundamentals of corner, and then me and him will get back together after the break, and we'll determine how much he does of both. The good thing is he's got a full year under his belt at wide receiver. We were very deep at wide receiver. We got everybody coming back when we recruited some guys, and just feel like from a coach's standpoint that he is a very good football player, and I think his upside is very high. So we got to find a way to try to get him on the field, and he's very open to it. But if he does stick with the corner position, you'll see him play 2 ways, because he's got the ability to put the ball in his hands with some things too. So
you could definitely go into fall camp thinking we're going to play him on both sides of the ball.
definitely, no doubt. We'll see where that goes, but that is a possibility.
Gus, as far as Joey Gatewood's throwing mechanics, are you and Chip going to play around with that a little bit, because he kind of holds the ball way up?
Yeah, Chip. The great thing for him is he's going to be in the mix in the 2 deep. He's going to get reps, and Chip will get time to focus just on him. I think that'll be a very good thing for him. But Chip's strength is quarterback development, and he's already got some things that he's planning on doing with him. The thing about Joey, he's very coachable. He's got a great attitude. So yeah, there's things that he's going to focus on. Matter of fact, starting today.
Gus, would you like to get out of spring training with a pretty set group on the offensive line?
You would like to. I mean, that really would be best case scenario, that we could say, man, this guy's a right guard, this guy's a right tackle, he's at center, he's a left guard, he's a left tackle. And, JB's a very specific guy, with that. And so there won't be as much mixing and matching as we've done last spring, but we had a lot of guys back. But that would definitely be the plan if we can do that.
Mike Horton did his first look at guard or center.
He's going to start out at guard, but he has snapped. You can never have enough centers, so we'll just see where that goes. But Mike is a very good guard that started in this league and has performed well. When he's been in there.
Any thoughts on Wildcat possibilities?
Not yet. I know Chip's got a short list of guys that probably towards the end of the spring he'll give an opportunity to. Like I said, the majority of the spring is going to be very basic, and but as we get going, he has a short list.
Who will be at center? And right tackle also.
Calvin Ashley will be at right tackle with Troxel will be at right tackle, and center is Kim and Brahms, and Tucker is going to do some center too. We're going to start out giving him some reps at center. Obviously played tight end last year, but we want some good competition there, and everything is open and up for grabs, and so that's a good thing from a coach's standpoint.
Yes. How excited are you to see Brodarius Ham after having a full season to see what he did this spring?
Yeah, we're very excited about Brodarius and everything that he's went through, and the coaches believe he's got a very special talent. I know he's very coachable. He wants to be good, so this will be a really key spring for him. Get the pads on and see what he can do.
Is he specifically a guard, or are you going to look at him as both?
Well, his body type can do both, but as a young guy, you always want to try to get a young guy and put him in one position so they can actually get some reps and continuity, not have to think and just be able to react. But you could see his ability, his skill set, where he could play guard or tackle. We're going to start him out at guard, and I expect the majority of his reps this spring to be a guard.
What will Tayshawn Manning work this spring?
He's going to defensive tackle.
Guys, you got 3 early defensive back signings. How important was it to get those guys into winter workout? Spring practice.
Yeah, very, very. And of course, we got 2 safeties in a corner, and with the depth that we have and losing the seniors we did, it was really, really critical to get those guys here early and just give them that head start, you know, on the back end.
This kicking game, I know it's tough to do a whole lot of specifics in kicking game, but, you know, the kicker, holder, snapper, how important is that to start to kind of narrow those things down?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and of course the two guys that, you know, are competing for the job, you know, is our punter from last year, and then Carlson. Our holders, Griffin King and Will Hastings. You know, so those are the things that, you know, we want to leave spring with. You know, who's our starter, who's our starting holder. Obviously, Bill's our deep snapper. I'm excited for him. You know, he was a highly recruited guy, and he waited his turn, so I'm excited to see him out there today,
So
too.
Ian Shannon back full-time kicker now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes,
Mostly.
yeah, he's back full-time kicker. And I probably should have, you know, he's an excellent kicker, there's no doubt. And he did some in bowl practice and all that, but he also is capable of holding, you know, on our field goals, too.
Have you filled the graduate assistant positions?
Yes. What we're going to finalize that here in about an hour. How about that? You'll see who they are, though, and that is accurate. I'm surprised there's not an article already written about who it is, because you guys are pretty good at already writing articles before I announce it. So